Here are the 10 worst 2020 subcompact crossover SUVs. It's a tiny SUV segment that bridges the gap between the cars and the SUVs. A lot of people will buy these because the fuel economy is good, the price point is good, but they're willing to sacrifice sometimes cargo volume, size, and backseat legroom. So here they are. We're going to go with 10 to number 1 being the worst. So progressively worse in this list. Number 10, the Nissan Rogue Sport. This sits between the Nissan Kicks and the Nissan Rogue. Now, unlike the Kicks, the Rogue Sport can be had with all-wheel drive, although front-wheel drive is standard with that 141 horsepower four-cylinder, but it has a noisy CVT. It looks sharp, which sets it apart from other vehicles, and it has a 31 miles per gallon in mixed driving on the highway, actually, and a lot of standard safety features. Automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert are all included. Optional safety equipment includes lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control with a semi-autonomous driving mode. So what makes this so bad? Well, the fact it has a noisy CVT. Now, price point is $24,335. Here are the official EPA fuel economy numbers. Combined 27, 25 city, 32 highway. That's in the front-wheel drive 2-liter. Rear cargo space, 22 cubic feet of volume in the S trim. Then it goes down to 20 in the SV trim, 19 in the SL trim. So it gets smaller as you go up in trims. And again, optional all-wheel drive. So that's number 10. The next one on the list is the Buick Encore. Now let's start off with the price point. $24,195. Fuel economy, 27 combined in the front-wheel drive. Rear cargo space, 18 cubic feet. All-wheel drive is optional. You might really have to love the interior, but hey, it's in this category as a subcompact crossover for a reason. It's small, and it leaves a lot to be desired. Now, ride quality, infotainment, so-so, kind of on line with the Chevy Trax, but for its relatively high base price, worse fuel economy, and a smaller cargo area than its competitors like the Hyundai Kona and Nissan Kicks, the Encore is only offered with 138 horsepower, 4-cylinder engine, and 6-speed automatic transmission. For its size, it's fairly comfortable to drive. Its ride is adequate and somewhat cushy over bumps. The front-wheel drive gets, again, 25 city, 30 highway. All-wheel drive, 24 city, 29 highway. Next up on the list here, or down on the list, the Jeep Renegade, $23,870. And rear cargo space, 18 cubic feet. All-wheel drive is optional on the Renegade. I don't know. What do you think about the Renegade? It seems like a lot of money for, might as well just upgrade to get a Jeep Wrangler, maybe, right? It serves a wide array of purposes. The base model starts as a smaller, cheap, compact than other options and more expensive. The high altitude top trim levels for those people who want the off-road fans. But the bigger price tag doesn't improve many of its worst features, like 180 horsepower, 2.4 liter engine standard, or you can get the other one, which is a little bit slower, the 1.3 liter 4-cylinder that makes 3 horsepower fewer, but gains 25 pound-feet of torque. The most fuel-efficient way to own a Jeep Renegade is with the 1.3 liter front-wheel drive. Estimated fuel economy, 32 on the highway. The interior isn't much to brag about. You have to see it to believe it. Even with the rear seats folded flat, could be a little more room in that vehicle. So that's next. All right, moving on. The Honda HR-V. You get the typical Honda interior, $21,940. Great starting price. Fuel economy, though, 30 combined. Cargo space, 24 cubic feet. And the front-wheel drive, 23 with the all-wheel drive. Now, all-wheel drive is optional. So what makes this one on the list? Against 17 competitors, the HR-V does its best. Unfortunately, it suffers from a choppy ride, especially present on uneven roads. It's powered exclusively by a 141 horsepower 4-cylinder with the CVT and available in both front and all-wheel drive. The HR-V shines as a fuel-efficient alternative to other choices. It also achieves 30 miles per gallon on the highway. HR-V's party trick is its second row Magic seat. So when that's released, the rear seat backs fold flat, leaving extra room for stacking luggage or hauling bigger stuff. You can walk right through the car, which I've done in some of my reviews in the past. So from that one, we go to, again, getting worse as we go along, the Mazda CX-3, 21,740, rear cargo space, 17 cubic feet, all-wheel drive, again, optional. Be nice to have something standard, right? So the Mazda 3 is only available in the sport trim for 2020. Keep that in mind if you're interested. And what else? A little slightly larger than the CX-30, available in both front and all-wheel drive. It's powered by 146 horsepower, four-cylinder. According to some tests, it can be smooth, but slower than others in the segment. Now, we're moving up to moving down. The Fiat 500X, just over $26,000. Rear cargo space, 14 cubic feet. Not fantastic, but hey, that's why these are on the worst list. This is a Jeep Renegade-based crossover that's one of only a few models left under the Fiat nameplate. 177 horsepower turbocharged four-cylinder engine, all-wheel drive are standard. All models come with 17-inch aluminum wheels except the Sport, which has a standard 18s, optional on both trekking models. Available 19-inch wheels. Its high starting price only adds to the absurdity of a vehicle in this segment with fuel economy ratings worse than more powerful and larger competitors. So 26 miles per gallon combined for a tiny car like that. Cargo capacity is low for a subcompact SUV with just 14 cubic feet. Behind the rear seats, 32 when they're folded down. Next is the Toyota CHR. What does that stand for? I'll tell you here in just a second. Base price, $22,415. EPA fuel economy estimates combined, 29. With 27 city, 31 highway. Rear cargo space, 19 cubic feet. All-wheel drive is not available. This straddles a line between okay and all right. Larger than both the Juke and HRV, but slower than what Car and Driver says, cold peanut butter, which is hilarious. By the way, CHR stands for Coupe High Rider. In practice, it's a four-door crossover with less ground clearance than the Toyota Sienna minivan. Its 144 horsepower four-cylinder isn't peppy, but it achieved an impressive 37 miles per gallon during Car and Driver's highway fuel economy test. Its hidden rear door handle gives it a two-door look, and the rest of its styling helps stand out in a growing segment. Like your typical modern Toyota, the CHR rides well and drives smoothly, but its noisy CVT transmission and lack of power keeps it from getting higher or actually lower on this list. Safety features such as automated emergency braking, forward collision warning, lane keeping assist, and adaptive cruise control are standard. Now, in 2019, last year, Chevy sold more than 116 of these Trax in the U.S., making it one of the highest selling compacts in the segment. That's a good point, right? Unfortunately, good sales don't always translate into a great car. Just because it sells great doesn't mean it's great. People are buying it because it's cheap, probably. The interior on this, even in its highest trim, is more fleet-like than fancy. Fleet, like a fleet vehicle, just a standard run-of-the-mill car. And the Trax is as exciting to drive as watching grass grow. 138 horsepower turbocharged four-cylinder engine is on the slower side of the segment. Doesn't offer spectacular fuel efficiency. Real-world fuel economy test return just 29 miles per gallon. And then the best part of the Chevy Trax all happens in the front row. Tons of headroom, spaciousness. We got tech like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities, as well as the optional 4G LTE Wi-Fi pad paid through a monthly subscription. Now, the Mitsubishi Outlander Sport is second to worst. $23,790 fuel economy, 27 combined with the front-wheel drive, rear cargo space 21. All-wheel drive is optional, so you have that at least. Base models are powered by 148 horsepower 2-liter 4-cylinder, 168 horsepower 2.4-liter engine is optional. Both use a CVT. All-wheel drive Outlander Sport with a 2-liter engine gets 28 miles per gallon, while the 2.4-liter dropped down to 26 miles per gallon. Inside, you got an 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. But other than that, not a whole bunch. It does offer a 100,000-mile warranty on all new Outlander Sports, hoping to boost their sales. but they're going to have to do a lot more than that to be competitive in this segment. Drum roll to the last one, the worst subcompact crossover SUV for 2020, the Ford EcoSport. It's cheap, $21,240. Fuel economy is 28 combined, rear cargo space 21 cubic feet. All-wheel drive is not optional, so why is this not good? Well, 123 horsepower turbocharged 3-cylinder. Also available with a 144 horsepower inline 4. The EcoSport ends up as sporty as it is economical. During fuel economy tests, it only got 24 miles per gallon in testing. Not great considering the CX-3 and Honda HR-V get 30 combined. Seating is tight, so don't think about getting an adult in the third row or second row. The rear door is left hinged, side opening style, giving way to the 21 cubic feet of cargo in the rear. And the EcoSport isn't available with a spare tire in the US, so commute gently. There you go. What do you think? Do you agree with this 2020 subcompact crossover SUV list? This from my friends over at Car and Driver. They do have more that are on the positive side, but these are the top 10 worst. Love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section and give me your feedback there.
Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.
And that wraps it up for this episode of the Everyman Driver Car Show. Again, check out our sponsor below, mycarmatch.com. It's my go-to website for the best new and used car deals broken down by zip code. You can find a link below for a free quote today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Adios.